Welcome back. Let me now come back to you to continue from where we stopped.
First and foremost, early adoption is critical. If we don't adopt these SDGs as early as possible, then we might be still lagging behind. Another thing is that we need to dedicate resources across government agencies, responsible for the implementation of the goals. And more importantly, we need verifiable and believable data, including population data. The thing is, how would you know if you're planning accurately or correctly if you don't even know the people that you're planning for? So we need that. And lastly, oh, I would say the last point really is public awareness, and this is what we've been doing. A lot of people have been doing it. NGOs, some government, some state governments like Kaduna State have taken the lead on this. So people are knowing more about the SDGs. They're knowing the importance of these goals. They know that Nigeria is in dire need of a lot of things, such as good education, eradication of poverty. This is a shift from what we used to see before. People are coming out and demanding for good governance.
Nigerians trying to create awareness is that we have gone ahead to translate these goals into local languages, the three major languages, with Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, with support from other individuals. We've translated the goals, so we can easily communicate these goals in our local dialect. Because if the people really don't understand the goals, there's no way they can achieve it.
Okay, if Nigeria tackles its infrastructure deficit now, it will in the long term improve the economy. For example, in Nigeria, we lack quality of life to an extent. For example, good roads, lack of quality education, transport, water, sanitation, waste systems. If we can address those issues, it will in turn, all the other goals will fall in place. Let's take, for example, zero hunger. We're trying to achieve zero hunger in the Sustainable Development Goals. If we can invest heavily in agricultural infrastructure, we can actually achieve zero hunger, because if we can provide farmers with constant water supply, good roads for them to transport their crops to markets, not only zero hunger, but it will improve our economy because jobs will be created, it will increase the productivity of the land, and what else? The export, GDP, everything. So infrastructure is infrastructure should be the central focus of achieving the SDGs.
I think it is very important for the government to urgently diversify the economy. This point has been made time and time again. We need to diversify the Nigerian economy. We cannot be a single commodity exporter. We cannot continue to rely on oil. The price of oil has crashed from $120 to $100 to $70 to $50. Now it's hovering around $38 to $40. We cannot continue to rely on revenue generation from oil alone. If countries like India and China can benefit from the huge population that they have, I don't see a reason why Nigeria cannot industrialize as well and be a low-cost destination. Since wages in Nigeria are low anyway, that is an avenue for us to diversify the economy and ensure that our economy, we turn ourselves into a nation that produces and exports to the world. Because any country that continues to consume what the rest of the world produces and does not send anything out there is a country that is not going anywhere.
We need to build good schools, or if there are schools, then student A and student B should be able to get to school. Reliable transport system, mobility, we need to satisfy mobility needs, or healthcare facility. Someone in a town should be able to get himself to the hospital through transport systems, and energy facility. Students going to school, if they decide to read at night, there's no electricity. We lack all of these things. So my last word would be goal 9. Even though it seems outrageous or it's not impossible, we do have limited funds, but if we can channel those funds to specific goal, if we can outline specifically what we need to achieve and specifically the infrastructure that are lacking, then we'll be able to achieve them.
We urgently need to focus on good education and continue to speak up on good education and encourage the federal government to invest in our state and federal universities, and for young people as well to make sure that they don't wait for the private sector or wait for the government. We need to develop ourselves. We need to invest in ourselves, because there are jobs in Nigeria, but there are jobs that some young people don't actually have the core skills necessary for those high-level jobs. So young people need to invest in themselves, attend employability workshops and events and seminars, attend leadership seminars, and look for mentors, look for someone who they can actually tap from, someone who has been there and done that in the past.
If you go to the social media, what you see is people talking, but there's no much of action on how this can be done. So what our group and some other people have done is that we've held 2 chats where we invite professionals and experts and NGOs that have good understanding of the goal, and we ask them specifically, how do you think Nigeria can implement these goals? And when they share it on our different platforms on Facebook, we now compile these action points and have it there for anybody to make reference to, so that in case they stumble on it. But by and by is that the government needs to take an active role in this, because it is not the NGO's work. When the data is going to be gathered, they will be looking for a believable source. So I come again to where Jalia mentioned a believable and a verifiable data. If we don't have any of this, we may just be achieving but not reporting.
What the SDGs has done really is actually tackle all of these projects into one development plan, really. So all of these problems into one development plan. It talked about unemployment, it talked about poverty, it talked about education. All the problems that are facing Nigeria right now are all embedded in the SDGs, and we've got different targets. So really it's even making the work of the government even simpler, or should I say easier for them to, let's follow this strategy, and then we'll be able to, let's just adopt it and make it a part of us, and then we'll be able to also solve the problem in our country. Yes, regarding funding, we are saying the government should be in the forefront, but this is something we would like, businesses, big organizations, even if there is, funding organizations to come together to try and solve this problem or try and contribute towards this problem. We could even do things like crowd funding set up for a particular target. That's why the SDGs is all about partnership, so even individuals can come together and adopt these on their own. NGOs can come together and adopt these on their own.
All right, guys, thank you all for coming this afternoon and sharing your thoughts, but we have to leave the discussion here. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be joined by Hamza Lawal to get more analysis on this issue. Please stay with us.